Should we get into the fights?
Yeah, let's start from the top.
Starting from the top. So the Diamond, Dustin Poirier, otherwise known as on the show, won't be getting that bonus. Well, no, he will. He's got that 50k bonus, so he can open up that Emporium for Dust.
Yeah,
lovely stuff. Yeah, real shame. I think we all collectively, as a community of fight fans, wanted him to get it done.
Yeah, it would have been a nice little kind of capping point to his career. You know, I mean, he has been speaking, especially this week in the lead up to this fight, and a little bit before in his last couple of fights as well, about potentially retiring.
Yeah.
This was, I'm going to say, definitely his last title shot.
Oh yeah, it's got to be right. I mean, he looked good though.
To be fair, yeah, he went out there and he did a lot more damage than what anyone else was expecting. He had moments in the fourth and fifth rounds where it looked like it was going to go his way, and the judges' scorecards that came out after the fight showed that he was
doing well.
He was actually tied with Islam going into that last round. So
yeah,
and up until the point where he was taken down and submitted in that fifth round, in my opinion, he was winning.
Oh yeah, I have to agree. That last round was going his way. It was funny because Islam hadn't managed to get him down for a while, and he kind of got a bit creative with the grappling. And when he did that, when he really kind of threw away safety for a moment and tried something a little bit more stylish, it actually worked off really well for him. Yeah. And then tried the ghillie, and then used the guillotine to set up that Dast choke. And yeah, it was just at the point where I think Dust was a little bit maybe defeated. Like, he was still in the fight. Don't get me wrong, but he got taken down pretty big time, and then a few submission attempts, and he got put in a real tight guillotine. Dust, and he actually did go out after he tapped. Super impressive, but like we were saying, he managed to keep up with the pound for pound best right now, in my opinion. Islam Makhachev, he managed to keep up with him at age 35, thinking about retirement. You know, the guy's a dog.
Yeah.
I also wanted to just quickly bring up, I don't think Islam's ever going to get out of Khabib's shadow, because he's having fights with these guys that are so competitive, and people are always going to be like, look what Khabib did. That's what I know. I was thinking that, Khabib made it look easy. Yeah. That was a tough fight for Islam, you know?
Yeah, that's fair. But on another note, I mean, going back to what I was saying in the lead up to this card, Islam now has a bona fide win against a top contender in the lightweight division. A legend at that. Someone who has been tested and has been round the block many a time by now in Dustin Poirier. And going into this next fight, which most likely is going to be against Arman Sarukian,
should be.
He will probably be taking in quite a lot more confidence. And I think, there's no question now how good this guy is. Yeah. If you had questions at all going into that fight, but there really isn't that many other people in the lightweight division, in my opinion. No. I mean, obviously you've got Justin Gaethje, who was looking good up until he lost against Max Holloway. You've now got Max Holloway, but I feel like he's at a pretty similar point in his career to Dustin, where he's probably looking for some more fun fights rather than, look, I could be completely wrong, getting all the way back up to a lightweight title shot. But
I think that's the thing with Max. They want him to fight Ilya next, or he kind of wants to fight Ilya next. I don't know why he's not shouting for Islam, because I mean, realistically, it's got to be Arman. But I mean, there's got to be at least a claim there for Max. Well, bro, he just beat the number one guy.
Yeah,
you know,
Dana was talking in the post-fight press conference about how they are trying to book another BMF title bout. And that got me thinking,
who's it going to be?
Who is there in the lightweight division who you could put up there as a BMF, and who isn't booked also? And that got me thinking.
Dustin Poirier?
Dan Hooker versus Max Holloway.
That would be good.
What a scrap that
would be. A banger. But I mean, the only thing there is just rankings. Well, I suppose it kind of makes sense in the rankings because he's ranked number fucking 9.
Yeah.
But after
Dan Hooker's in there at number 12.
Yeah. Sorry, Islam. After coming off a win against number one contender Justin Gaethje, I think it's pretty rough for Max to have to go back and fight a Dan Hooker. You know,
But who else is there? As a BMF contender.
As a BMF, I've got to say, chuck him in against Ilya and put the BMF on the line. You know, why not? Why not?
Featherweight.
A featherweight. Why not? Because I think the BMF I was going to try and think of a cool word there. But
look, here's the thing. So far for the BMF belt, you've had Masvidal versus Diaz. Both absolute badasses. You know, both guys that step into the cage and you know there's just going to be violence.
Yep.
Then you had Dustin Poirier versus Justin Gaethje. Again, two other guys who are just absolute examples of pure violence. And then we had Max Holloway versus Justin Gaethje, who once again are two of the most like crazy guys to watch in the octagon.
Oh yeah, they're crazy.
Obviously, Gaethje getting that win against Dustin Poirier. Gaethje also having all-out wars with Michael Chandler, Tony Ferguson. His fight with Dustin Poirier in the past, and Max Holloway just countless amounts of times that he has stepped in there and just put on an absolute world-class show. And a war. I'm just thinking, who else is there that has that kind of resume?
Yeah, no, you're right.
Dan Hooker's the only guy that comes to mind.
I just want to see Max fight for ranking again. I want to see him make a claim at this lightweight belt and become a double champ. Like maybe go through Ilya first, see what happens there. If he wins that fight, I just want to see him fight Islam. That's all I want. But it's almost as if those tides aren't.
No, because I think together. If Islam fights Arman and he gets that done, he's going to
move up.
Yeah, I could well see him moving up to fight Leon.
And I think one more fight for him is enough for him to be like, okay, I want to give it a crack at 170. Like, because that'll be four defenses technically at that point, right?
That would be the most in the lightweight
history. Is
I believe
yeah.
So. It's only been defended 3 times.
3 times. So I'd give him whatever he wants at that point. Honestly, go up, do your thing. You know, do your little thing.
So we want to see Islam against Arman.
Absolutely.
Who do we want to see Dustin fight?
I wouldn't mind that Volk fight. I think that would be a real cool fight if they're both actually keen.
But what does it do for Volk? Like, is he just moving up for that fight?
Volk just said he wanted a fun fight. He was just like, look, mate, I want to have a scrap. If I can't get that Ilya fight, let's have a scrap.
Okay.
He said, massive respect for you. You know, we're both fan favorites. Let's go.
I like that.
You know, it was a bit random.
Yep.
Can't say it wasn't. Definitely a random call out, but I wouldn't mind it. Wouldn't be opposed to it as like co-main of like the Perth card or something. That's pretty good. Perth. The Perth card. Or if they're doing another one in Australia later in the year or something, you know, maybe.
Yep.
Maybe like a Sydney card or Brisbane card, maybe. Eh?
Have they had one in Brisbane?
Have they had one in Brisbane? That's a good question.
If not, I'll be there.
Yeah, I'd definitely bloody go. What are we looking at?
UFC Brisbane.
Screaming at it. Hunt versus Mir. UFC Fight Night
85.
So that was in 2016. Hunt versus Bigfoot as well.
Oi.
So yeah, they've been to Brisbane a couple times, but not for a while.
Yeah, not for a very long time.